Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and this morning we are doing a KSCRAFT Let's Make This, and we are going to be doing part of it. There's a couple of bits I've put together and a couple of bits that are identical that I didn't put together so that you can see how it's put together. How's that? Yeah, my vocabulary sounds so good at this time in the morning. All self-explanatory. Right, we're using the mini album or embellishment book die. There's lots of parts to that, and we're going to get some of that out in a minute. And also the little paper clips. I was going to use the envelopes, and I thought, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save those. I'm going to do the envelopes tomorrow and do the tag book tomorrow. So I've done these, and today's paper is Snap Click Supply, and it's Cartabella Home Sweet Home, which is quite an old pack, but I just absolutely love it. Right, so then these that I showed you yesterday, these are quite self-explanatory, and I've done those, and I'm just going to drag them out so that you can see. So I've used craft cardstock. There's my first paper clip. That one's got the little cake on top of it, so that's the round one. And that one's got a pie on it, because who doesn't love pies? I love pies, yeah. Right, and the next bit that I'm going to show you is this. So I'm going to get all of this out because it's all being cut apart. And I'm going to move my paper clips out of the way for a little while. And I'm going to go into here and I'm going to show you exactly what we've got. Right, this one here you will see is either larger or smaller than the piece I'm about to pick up. Right, yeah. Your larger one, can you see the difference there? The larger one is your book covers, your smaller one is your pages. So just remember that. And then you get a larger and a smaller of these. And one is your page layering piece. The larger one is your book layering piece. So you can see there's definite size differences. Now this piece is so that you can cut pocket slits into one of your pages. You can put it to the cover of your book as well if you want to, but you just drop that inside of there and you run them both through together, and it will give you the fancy stitched outer as well as all of those lovely pocket slits. This one is to make the pocket, so you'll cut your quality cardstock, because if you're going to make a book you want it to last, and then you'll do your layering fancy piece on top of that. This one I haven't poked out yet, but you cut two and it will make a rosette. As I said, this is supposed to be an embellishment book, so that you're supposed to be able to put all of your embellishments inside, but you're going to be able to use it for other purposes, which is what I've done. Now this bit here is the spine of your book, and that is the fancy layering piece of your spine with the lovely stitched edge again. So it would be your heavyweight cardstock, and then it would be your fancy cardstock, which isn't always as heavy. And then in that you also get all of those fabulous labels. Now I did cut those labels out, and I'm going to show you, because I'm only using one of them. So this is what they look like. You can put your chat stickers, you can stamp on them. There could be little images that you cut out, but I've used my I've forgotten what it's called. Dynamo. Is it Dynamo or Dymo? Yeah, you know, your machine that you print out your tape. So I'm using that one, so I'm just going to move that one off to the edge, and I hope my camera's being clear, because you know me. Right, so I'm putting that with my paper clips, because that's the one that I'm going to use. Now this is the rosette, and you cut two, and as I said, this is all Cartabella Home Sweet Home, and then, you know, you pop a back on it so it doesn't jump up in the air, and you put a front on it the same. Now what I did with mine is I glued my edges. You are supposed to overlap, but yeah, I did it wrong and I glued my edges, but you know, I'm absolutely fine with that because it looks a little bit vintage. That's my excuse. Right, I'm putting that there. And I'm going to move all of these out of the way now so that I can show you the paper cuts. Right, okay. So the first thing is the cover. Now you cut 2 of the large as I've just shown you, and you're going to cut a book spine. So I've used different pieces of paper here. This is the front of my book. And if you fold it up, you'll see it opens and closes as a book. Now, if I do that, you can now see where those edges go. They will go over the top of your spine. So we've got 2 of them there. And I'm moving it slowly because I know people like to look and pause the video so that they can do it themselves. So you've got that there, and you know that is your book closing, and then on the outside you've got your fancy piece of paper. Right, now then, to hide those, and I haven't done that yet, you're going to cut another spine, and I've got mine with just a bit of script on it. So I cut the larger piece, and I've also cut the fancy top piece, and we're going to use some glue on that. And I may have to pause while my glue is drying, although it is quite windy today, so you know, humidity might not be so bad. I never go right up to the edges with my glue, because you will find that once you squeeze down, it'll squeeze out the edges for you. So I'm just capping off my glue there, and I'm turning this over, and this is exactly the same size as the one you've got on the outside. So you just need to marry that up and within your edges, and you need to press that down. Now one of the things you need to do as well is close your book, because you want to make sure that whatever you've got in the center there is going to allow the correct movement. So if you do that, you'll know that you've got your spine right where you want it. So now all of those hinges are hidden underneath that bit. Right, I'm going to pause while it dry, and I will be back. Right, now that spine is down and it is dry, and as I said, it's now hidden, those hinges. You can't see them. You just got a lovely smooth flat surface, which is just like that side of it. Now these pieces, these layering pieces, if you want to, you can cut another 2 and you can pop them on the inside, but I'm going to leave mine craft cardstock, basically so that you can see the other bits that I'm putting in, because they're patterns, so that you've got a contrast to them. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out one of those slits, and this is what it looks like. I'm just pulling it out here. So this is one of the pages, and you can see I've bent it and I've put some tape on, and this is the slits. So you'll put that on, and obviously you need to be able to use those slits, so your glue only goes all the way around the edge. So we're going to do that. We're going to pop some glue all the way around that edge. And once again, if you're using liquid glue, you don't have to go all the way up there, because it is going to squeeze. And I just put a little wibbly wobbly all the way along. So there you go. The glue is only around the outside there. And I'm going to flip this over, try to get it straight. So I'm going to try and get a straight edge here and a straight edge there. I hope that's straight. It looks it. Well, I'm committed now anyway. And wibbly wobbly books don't really bother me. I like them. It adds character. Right, I'm going to let that dry and I will be right back. Okay, so that inner page is dry, and I'm just going to get one of those clips that we did, really easy to do, just popped up on foam. And if you don't want to use foam, you don't have to. You can just cut in a different layering colour. And now we just want to know if they're going to go in, and they do. So, you know, just go along and test all your little pockets there so that you can get your ephemera or your recipes or your embellishments in, of course, because it's also an embellishment book. Right, so that's glued correctly and that works, and I've already done another one. So now I have 2 of those, and they're all in that matching strawberry paper. Now always remember to go to Snap Click Supply on a Wednesday, because everything's $1. Right, so now we've got 2 of those. I'm going to move my clip again. And the next thing we need to do is the pocket. So we've got a plain piece that we've cut on top of this page, whereas of course we've done the slit one to go on top of that page. So I've already glued that one down, but we've got a pocket. So you get a fancy piece there to put on top, and that needs gluing down. Now before I do that, and you know, I kind of like mess around with paper and whatnot, I try to find the edges. Now obviously a bone folder is what is required to get your lovely smooth edge, but I just kind of like push down with my finger just to find the emboss mark on the die, and I just go along like that before committing myself to my piece of plastic. Now my piece of plastic is here somewhere. There it is, the other end of my desk, and unmissable. Yeah, it's always good to have some bright colour in your craft room so that you can see what you've got and what you haven't. And so once you've done that, get your bone folder, commit it a little bit more if you need to. Just find that emboss. There we go. And then go down that with your folder. You can go up and down this as many times as you want to, which is why it's good to use your good quality cardstock for stuff like this. This is craft cardstock from Amazon. It's their heavyweight. I think it's 350 GSM. I'm pretty sure it is. It's not that expensive either. And I think they also do it in black. And I know black is really popular for doing little books. So we've done that. And I'm going to need to put tape both sides of that, and of course at the bottom. So now that I've got that all scored out, I can just lay that there, and I can come in with my little fancy piece and pop my glue on it. So we're going to go along here. Once again, I don't go all the way to the edge. And then I like to do a good deal of squiggle in the middle, because that's what will hold it down. And another important thing I find as well is, because I've printed this paper myself, is that you don't sort of like spend a lot of time with wet glue on the surface of your paper. Now I need to make sure that that's straight, because if you do, you can find your cardstock will warp. So you want to get your glue down, and you want to make good contact instantly, so that you don't get that, you know, horrible bubbling under your paper. Right, I'm just going to rub that and let it dry, and I'll be back. Right, now that's all nice and dry, and I also added some tape onto the edge of my plain page there. So we're going to put the pocket down onto here, and to do that you're going to take off your tape. I know some people sort of like part way do it. I don't, because I'm a glutton for punishment. And what you want to see is the edge. So I don't mind having glued fingers for a little while, but I'm sitting this right on to the edge. of my page. Now when you're doing that, the next thing you want to do is be straight on your edge coming up your page. So we're just going to stick that down there, and then this should just go naturally. And then I'm going to make some good contact with my bone folder. Now the thing with the tapes is sometimes it can take 24 hours for the resin in the glue on tapes to completely bond with your substrate. Yes, there's some good words first thing in the morning. And you know, set itself up. So if you find that you're using a tape and it's not sticking instantly, then, you know, don't worry about it. Go back to it in 24 hours, or put a book on top of it and let the resins in it cure. Obviously, if you're wanting something that's kind of more instantaneous in a tape, then I highly recommend Sukwang or Scorpal. It's probably the finest adhesive tape in the world, to be honest with you. And I think it's made in Korea. But it is extremely good for making books. I mean, if you're doing something really special and you know you want good adhesion for a very, very long time, then I would highly recommend Scorpal tape. Right, so now we've got a pocket on there, which means I can bring in a clip again and just test that. And you can see there's plenty of space there. Or if I wanted to, my little rosette that I made, I can just tuck that into there. So there's an embellishment and there's an embellishment. But I also did another one. So now I've got two pockets. So using all of that paper again, Snap Click Supply, Carta Bella, Home Sweet Home. I just love its old school appearance. Absolutely adore it. Right, now then, we're going to get the bits out because we're going to stick the pages in. And doing the pages the way these are designed is so easy. It truly is. I mean, if you're somebody that's, you know, concertina-ing hills and valleys to do all your book hinges, then, you know, you're missing out if you're not doing something like this. Right, so first of all, I want to go with a strawberry page at the back. And remember, if I was doing this properly, and I will go away and do it later, I would put inside covers to make it nice. And you do the same on the back. I mean, you might want to do this again on the back, or put a pocket on the back, you know, so you can do that and just stick that on the back. So all sides are covered. But you're going to take your tape off your edge there. You're going to find the edge here, and you want it, because your page is slightly smaller than your covers, you want it to fit on top of that decorative piece. Now always check before you push down that your cover is coming up, and that is. So I'm going to stick that down there. I'm going to get my bone folder. I'm just going to make some good contact with it and press that. And that is our first page in our book. See that? Isn't that great? So easy. And now what you want to do is you want to flatten this one down, because now we're going to go in with a pocket. And always make sure, yeah, people who watch my channel know that I get all carried away doing stuff like this, and my book is upside down. Yeah, what can you say? Right, so you've got that flattened out of the way. So now you want to put this one, and you want to butt it up and get it straight onto your last page like that. Get that down, take your bone folder handle and just zoom along it, just like that. And then you want to fold that one out of the way. Now I'm not entirely sure how many pages this book will take, so we'll find out in a second. Right, I'm just peeling tape off this one, and once again you've got it down flat. You're going to square it up with your decorative page, and your other page that you just put in. I'm having a look on camera to make sure I've got that straight. And then down you go again. You can of course use wet glue if you want to. So now we've got 3 pages. I'm just going to show you what that looks like flat. You know, you can see all of your layers. I'm thinking actually, well no, I'm not going to guess at it. I'm going to do it in a second. And let's see how many more pages will go in, because this might be something that I'll finish at the weekend and come back and show you. So we've got that down flat. Can you see that side was a little bit out there on the left, and I've just pushed it in. So let's go down with our bone folder. And what that little bent piece actually does is it allows you a certain amount of space to put dimensional things in without them getting crushed. Do you know what I mean? Now, I may have, you know, messed up there. And I probably did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to force it and then squeeze it. See if that makes any difference. Because you do want them in straight. And then we're going to bend that there. So looking at what I've got, I'd say you could get another 3 pages in there. So I reckon you're going to be able to get 7 pages. So here is our book. And I've got my little label that I need to put on. So I'm just going to peel this off. And you're getting all of these bits in the set. So it really is a wonderful, comprehensive set of dies. So, I mean, I'm putting this to me so that I can kind of like finagle and decide where the centre is. And it may not be the centre, but I've put it there anyway. So, I've got my little recipes label there. You've got that lovely print. And now when you go through it, I'm going to get all my gubbins out. So, I'm going to pop my rosette into there. And then I've got my labels, got my little paper clips ready. So that's really sweet. And then I'm going to put my pie in there because I love pies. There we go. So I've got my pie paper clip. And then we've got another pocket that you can put all your recipes, your recipe cards in. So let's just dangle another one onto there. And it doesn't really matter which way round, whether you go that way or that way. It's entirely up to you. But I kind of like the skinny bits there. So I've got my cake on that page. And then as we flip through to this one, I'm going to put sweet there. And you can see that when I stand it up, because of that, I'm sorry if it's a bit blurred, but hopefully you can see, there we go, the distance between your pages allows you to really layer up and load stuff onto there. I really enjoyed that. And I will be finishing this at the weekend, so I'll show it you on Monday. But it's definitely going to get a pretty page there. Pretty. And we'll do pretty. And another one. And, you know, using these all over again so you can stuff loads of stuff in. And then the same, you know, going all the way to the back. Right. I thank you so much for joining me today, and clearly so does Bo. Have an absolutely awesome day, and as usual, all links below. Bye.